Now today, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez is meeting the Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammad Mustafa a day after Madrid, along with Ireland and Norway, recognised the state of Palestine. The move has been welcomed by some Palestinians, but slammed by Israel, quote, as a reward for Hamas. Well, to discuss, I'm delighted now to welcome live to the programme the Foreign Minister of Spain, José Manuel Albares. Welcome to you, sir. Thank you very much for finding the time for us.
Thank you.
First of all, just tell us simply why recognise a Palestinian state now?
Because we have to protect the two-state solution, and to recognize the state of Palestine is the best way to do it. We all know that the formula to bring definitive peace, both for Israelis and for Palestinians, for the whole Middle East, is two-state, the state of Palestine and the state of Israel, that live together in good neighborhood and guarantee each other security. This is the right time to do it. And also because of justice for the Palestinian people. They cannot be condemned to be eternally a people of refugees. And when we see 1,200 Israelis killed on October the 7th, more than 35,000 Palestinians killed in the beginning of the war, it's also a matter of pure humanity.
And there are Palestinians who've welcomed what you've done, but it is a symbolic move, isn't it? How can recognition make a tangible difference for Palestinians right now, if I may, given the destruction we're seeing in Gaza that has meant, effectively the entire enclave is unlivable. We have ongoing settlement expansion in the West Bank. A Palestinian state territorially is less viable now than it's ever been, surely.
First, symbolism is important in foreign policy. The Palestinians themselves has been asking for this recognition because it makes a great difference the day they will sit again in the diplomatic table, that there will be two sovereign states discussing. And at the same time, this is the beginning of a process. And we are calling also for a peace conference in which we will stop talking about the two-state solution and we will focus on implementing the two-state solution. And for us, that's very clear. That means that as soon as peace gets back, we have to put under one single Palestinian Authority both the West Bank and Gaza. We have to give continuity to the territory with a corridor. We must give it an exit to the sea with a port in Gaza, and we must give a capital in East Jerusalem. And of course, all that will need a massive financial plan. Spain is ready to put his part. We will push European Union to do it. At the end, we have to realize that the hope of Palestinians for a Palestinian state is completely interlinked with the security of Israel. And the fact of having a state of Palestine will also help to normalize the relation of all Arab countries with Israel, which we also want.
You talked about this being the right time. You were a group of 3 European countries that recognised the state of Palestine yesterday. There are, though, lots of your European counterparts who don't agree with you. France says, for one, it isn't the right time. So I wonder, do you feel now that you're out of step with your European allies, or perhaps from the conversations you're having with them behind the scenes, the sense that you get is actually you're leading the way and other European countries will follow your lead?
We are at the heart and in the center of what is needed, both in the international community. 143 countries have already recognized Palestine. With us 3, we are already 146. And also in European Union, 8 European countries, the last one, Sweden, had already recognized Palestine. With Ireland and Spain, we are 10. Tomorrow, Slovenia is following us. So we will be 11. More and more countries are following the example that Spain is setting. And we only have to listen to the partners of peace in all camps. What they are asking is to help them to implement the two-state solution. And once again, this is for the peace, this is for justice. But when we see the bombing the last 2 nights over Gaza, This is also a matter of pure human dignity.
All right, I want to talk about Israel's reaction to what you've done, if I may. And before we do, let's listen to the Israeli foreign minister. This was something he said on the platform X yesterday. We've had it voiced. Let's take a listen.
We will not remain silent in the face of a government that rewards terror. The days of the Inquisition are over. Today, the Jewish people have a sovereign and independent state, and no one will force us to convert our religion or threaten our existence. Those who harm us, we will harm them in return.
And look, your Israeli counterpart not mincing his words there. He calls your government one that rewards terror. Your response to that, first of all?
It's ridiculous, it's false, and he knows it. We have condemned the terrorist attack of a terrorist organization like Hamas. We have been calling since the very beginning for the liberation of all hostages. I have met with families, relatives of them several times already. And it's very clear that the recognition, it's also a way of strengthening the National Palestinian Authority. Hamas is not a partner for peace. Hamas does not accept the two-state solution. Hamas wants war, so they cannot be a player, and certainly is not our partner for peace. But Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. The legitimate leadership of the Palestinian people is the National Palestinian Authority, our partner, a good partner for peace. I hosted today for the first time ever in history the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Palestine, and he was conveying a message of peace based on the two-state solution. I realize very well that my Israeli colleague has been trying to provoke Spain, Norway, Ireland in these last days, but we are not going to fall in any provocation. We want to continue talking about the same things: a permanent ceasefire, the liberation of all hostages, the access, the unimpeded access of humanitarian aid, and the two-state solution, which is justice for the Palestinian people, and it also meets the legitimate claims of security of Israeli people. And I want to recall that the Israeli people are friends of the Spanish people, and the state of Israel is a friend of the state of Spain.
Clearly, though, the Israeli government not happy at all with this. Again, in that same X post that we just played, the foreign minister saying, those who harm us, we will harm them in return. I wonder whether you have a sense of what the Israeli foreign minister means by that.
I have no clue. You should ask him.
Well, I may well do if he accepts our invitation to join us on the programme. I'm interested, have you had any contact yourself or anybody in your office with your Israeli counterparts in the foreign ministry since this recognition formally took place yesterday?
No, it was yesterday. It has been only a few hours. Today, we have received the Prime Minister of Palestine, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, Jordan, the Secretary General of the Organization for the Islamic Cooperation. They came to Spain to thank us for that recognition and also to discuss the best way to implement the two-state solution and peace for the Middle East. At the end is the common objective of everyone. The recognition, and I want to make this very clear once again, the recognition is not against anyone. And the least of them, Israel. Israel and the Israeli people are friends of the Spanish people.
You say they're friends of the Spanish people. Spain has long championed Palestinian statehood, hasn't it? Long before this particular war in Gaza. Is that part of your motivation in doing this? Are you recognizing a Palestinian state with a Spanish audience in mind?
We have championed the two-state solution, and we are definitely world champions on the cause of peace. That's why we have recognized the state of Palestine.
A final question for you. I'd like to move on to another foreign policy issue, if I may, and that's Ukraine. On Monday of this week, your government announced that it is to provide Ukraine with €1 billion in military aid this year. Just spell out for us what it is that you hope that really significant chunk of money will do.
Ukraine is a very crucial moment in which needs the help of all of us to defend its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, its democracy, its freedom, all the innocent civilians that are being killed in a war of aggression from Russia. For the exact same principles that we have recognized the state of Palestine and we want peace and the two-state solution, we are backing Ukraine because we are defenders of the United Nations Charters and its principle. That's why we have decided to do this agreement with the Ukrainian government.
José Manuel Albares, a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Spain's foreign minister speaking to me live here on the programme.